So, how about I begin this recap this evening, this afternoon, wherever you may be, with the official hashtag joyant and jubilant hello to all of my good friends out there in the trading universe, or any friends, or anybody that's just stopping by the first time. Welcome to another market review and recap. My name is Doug with Trade with Doug, and I hope you guys are doing very well. And as my promise and guarantee has always been to everyone out there, every time I've ever done any educational video or any recap, it is to take a grope in the murkiness, try to make some sense out of the stock market for you, and I hope whatever I discuss ultimately puts a few dollars in your pocket and makes your life a whole lot easier. Now, before I get started today, as I always say, somewhere down in the description box or here on the screen will appear a link. Feel free to follow that and join our live trading community. So if we go back to last Wednesday, I left off right before Easter. Oh yeah, by the way, happy Easter, everyone. I hope you had a really good time. Hope you had a good time coming back to work and everything went good for you today. And we see really an overall continuation of where we left off last week. I was pretty confident after Wednesday's action we would see a nice move all the way through Wednesday evening into Thursday to finish off the week, and that's exactly what we have. And now here you're seeing these QQQ, which has been my main focus, the NASDAQ section, making or trying to at least attempt to go back to these all-time highs of 338. Now this thing has been in a very sloppy range for quite some time. We want to call it maybe the growth stock exodus. We saw a lot of the big name stocks. We saw the Teslas, we saw the Nvidias, we saw things like Trade Desk. We saw tons of stocks that had super growth since the coronavirus correction. Really get, let's say, hammered. They got hammered, man. They really got hit here in March. Some of those retraced 30 to 40%, and this affected the Qs. We saw about a 12% correction here from top down to this area. Now, that's not a whole lot, but that could be the beginning of something more aggressive. But as you can see now, it was just one of those, yet again, another situation where this thing traded sideways and now has moved up, and it looks like this 338 is going to get done here. Very, very strong move as I'm doing this here today. We got about, I don't know, 20 minutes left in the market, so most of this should hold up. As I was talking about last week, the focus should have been on some of these growth stocks, seeing some of these come off of the floor that had just, let's say, left for dead. They would just been sitting there doing nothing, basing, consolidating, getting ready for moves, and all we needed was an overall lift from the NASDAQ sector to get this party started. Now, some of the ones we were talking about, I hope you guys took these. We just closed out a couple of profits in these. Teradyne, this stock just continues. I'm surprised more people don't talk about this one in Tractor Supply, TSCO. I know they don't have the sexy sounding name as Tesla or Plantier Technologies or whatever the hell that stock is. But look, this thing delivers every single time. I mean, this thing's putting together a very, very nice pattern. You got some ups, downs, and now here you got another up. Every time this thing just kind of folds down into a dip, it becomes a very, very nice buy. I mean, this has been a really good stock already this year. So it looks like we're going to go back to 147.90, back up into that area. But I think if you were in this back where we were in this, which was sub 120s, you probably should take a little bit of profit on that one. So this one's working out really good. There's a couple that we've mentioned over the last few weeks that we have positions in. ACOM here was another one. This one's moving off the bottom nicely. You see you've got really good double bottom support here, right? Just right into support. Now bouncing back up. Should make a perfect V until you get back up here to the 200-day moving average. And maybe we can look at 110 as an ultimate target. So here's another one that's working out real well. Again, I hope you guys got a little bit of those. Now, not all of them are working to a T. We've got some ESTC that we talked about last week. It's doing okay, but it's still using this 200-day moving average right here. You take a good look. This is the 200-day. It's using that right now as resistance the last 2 days. So this ultimately might become the short story for this one, and it just stops. Not short story as in shorting it, but the book of this rally is very short for ESTC. But I still want to keep it on the list here to watch. So as we go back to Wednesday, and this is why you guys should be watching these videos all the time. I know I get silly every once in a while, but I'm always dead serious when it comes to making money. And I've always believed that everything that you need to know is right here in front of you with these charts. All the relevant information that we're talking about is in the charts. And we saw with the NASDAQ, it was an opportunity for the bearish side to really take this market lower, and they just were unable to do that. And again, it becomes the same repetitive story that we have seen in every crisis over the last 6 or 7 years is that every one of these pullbacks are temporary. Now the question will be, will this one make another high like coronavirus, like Brexit, like the election, like many of the sell-offs during the trade war? Will this pullback lead to another high? Well, that remains to be seen. But as you can see by reading the charts and seeing how the Q had pulled back and consolidated for a good 1 month and was unable to build on that, it was unable to flush, it was unable to panic, it was unable to really break down underneath any significant level, the next step in that equation obviously is higher, and that's what happened. Now there are a few laggards out there that we might want. I don't recommend that you chase, because you never know if this particular rally right here is just a flash in the pan. You don't know that. So there are some value names out here, and I'm going to give them some iffy scores because some of these I've been in with not so much desirable results, okay? They're not really my good friends. I've had some trouble with these dudes in the past. I just want you to know that. Not too bad, but there are some that are laying here. Now, maybe this is good value that the market has yet to pick up, or maybe it's just an overall turd that nobody wants. So some of the ones that we talked about that worked out real good, Teradyne, Facebook, and oh yeah, CORVO. Here, CORVO was another one that worked out really good here. This is one I'll be closing here pretty soon. Just a really nice chart. I mean, what else are you going to say about these? So really good performances in there. The only lagger I have is this ESTC. I think I might have mentioned that one. So one of these stocks here, just maybe look at this one. I don't know what to say in here because I've been waiting, for a long time to catch a bounce here in beyond. I was in it here, and it just had a really weak bounce and got stopped out of this trade. Tried it again here, and now you're down here consolidating again. I'm not so sure. I'm real excited about this one. It's sort of been left behind. I mean, this is obviously a very, very strong piece of support for this stock. It's holding that, but one good thing is this. It's defending that area. It's doing a good job. The market's defending it. It's holding, but nobody's buying it. It's like doing the bare minimum right here to keep this thing surviving. So keep it on watch. Maybe there's a couple of 1 to 2 solid days, but I think it's delusional at this moment to think this thing's got 221 back in it. You're going to see this type of rally. I'm not seeing that. It's going to take something specific. Ever since this news story came out back here, it's just been destruction for it. Now, on the other hand, if you happen to miss it, if you're looking for somebody out there that says, man, I want to short some stocks, I want to hit some stuff short, this thing's got to be one of the best shorts on a bounce. I'm not doing that right now. I'm going some other directions, but if that's your game and that's what you want to do, I don't know how you could overlook this thing. It constantly fades. It never puts together any rally. It's been months since it's had like really back-to-back green days. I sometimes question why I'm even watching this thing right now for a long, but hey, I'll breeze through it every day and I'll give it a couple of seconds of my time, but that's it. But maybe this beyond. If for you guys out there that like to do some shorting, maybe that's something that you want to watch there. So I'm just going to put it on the list. Do as you want to. Now, another one I've mentioned, which hasn't done anything either, has been space. It's just sitting here holding this 200-day moving average. I mean, it's used that as support for quite some time. It looks like it's going to connect with it again. So here's all I got to say about this one. One thing you can always guarantee when you come down to major levels of support is you're going to get the answer for whatever question that you're looking for in that stock. You're either going to know, is it going to defend that important level, or is it going to just break through it and go a lot lower? Something like this looks like it might want to actually go lower. It's not doing a very good job either of holding this level up too well. Again, it's holding, but it's not. It's like the last stock I was talking about there, Beyond. It's holding, but no one's really enthusiastically purchasing this thing. But let's watch them because you never know. Maybe money just rolls back into them. You never know when the day is going to be here. Maybe a news event, maybe some sort of pump job comes out of there and there's something here. So there's a couple I'm just giving you here that's laying flatlining. And the question will be, has the market just overlooked these, or is the market just don't want these? Which one it is? Are they too busy buying the Facebooks and they too busy buying the Pelotons or those and forgot about these? What is it? I don't know. So keep that one there on your list. And the last one that looks a little bit better here, that I think I'm interested in more this week than any of the other ones, is this OCTO. Pretty good stock. It reminds me a lot of CORVO. It's got a lot of consistency in this pattern. constant pullbacks equaling long grinds of bullish activity, pullbacks, long grinds of bullish activity. This one obviously was one of the deeper pullbacks this stock has experienced over the last year. Now, albeit many of these growth stocks and strong performers of 2020 got hit right away, that's understandable. And truth be told, they needed it. I mean, some of these stocks were up 80%, some silly amount. So giving up 20 or 40 of that still keeps the chart, in my opinion, bullish. Even though that short-term action was aggressive, it's still bullish. Now you've got a lot of consolidation. This one here is fighting with its 200-day moving average. I would have preferred to already have been in it down in here. Let's open this chart up so we can get a better view. I would have preferred to be in this thing down here just slightly above 200. You got a nice triple bottom. I don't know what planet I was on when I didn't see this. I really did not see this. And now you're up here in the top of this range. So if we're using this box, we're kind of up towards the area of where sellers are going to be more present. But let's watch this. Maybe it develops some strength. Maybe the chart builds some structure over the next few days and is able to make quick work of this about 245, I think this is, 245. Yes, that's a 2. Wait, try to fix that. There we go. 245. And kind of work its way right up here into 280. See if it can just kind of move outside of that range. A good example of that, what would you be looking for, guys? You would be looking for something very close to what you saw in TER, which is the same thing. You know, here you have your long box of consolidation, right? And as soon as it moves out of there, it's able to put together a run. And that's it. That's what you're looking for. That's the move. Now, preferably you would like them like TER here, where they're tighter and there's less movement back and forth. That way the explosion coming out of the range can be bigger. Also can keep your stops pretty tight, just right beneath those 200-day moving averages or underneath the nearest pieces of consolidation. But that's what I would be looking for there in OCTO. So anyway, quick recap here. I hope you guys did really well over the last 3 or 4 days. The moves that we were talking about on Tuesday, Wednesday, really came into play on Wednesday evening and Thursday. We saw those moves we were looking for. Much of those stocks that we picked up on the dip there, like Teradyne, like Facebook, like CORVO, they all performed well. There's a few others out there. So I hope you got a piece of that action, or I hope you found your own stocks there in your own watch list, because we talked about there was a lot of them like PayC, Trade Desk. There's tons of stocks out there that were just face planted on their 200-day moving average. So I hope you got a chance to get into those stocks and you got what you were looking for when you saw that break in the Qs. Now the next question is, will this momentum continue to go higher? If so, I think the sympathy will bleed over into some of these left for dead names like Beyond, like Space, like this OCTO, right? Whether they go back up to higher, they're just 2 to 3 days worth of cash flow. That's irrelevant, but I think we can capture some money on those, so let's watch them. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I hope the start to your week was good. As always, if you have any questions, you feel free to reach out to me anytime that you need to. Other than that, thanks for watching this video. Have a great week trading, and I'll talk to you soon.